I know that to fly with the best, you need to work with the best. With over 13,000 engines in operation around the globe, Rolls-Royce provides the services to maintain them at peak performance. Today, each engine has thousands of sensors that can produce terabytes of data on long-haul flights. Making sense of all that data is critical in transporting my passengers safely and efficiently. Rolls-Royce uses Azure IoT Suite to analyze data remotely and deliver real-time, actionable insights to me and to the airlines about engine performance and operational efficiencies. Advanced analytics help us optimize fuel economy, anticipate maintenance needs, and avoid costly downtime and delays. A single unscheduled disruption and its knock-on effect to a fleet and the passengers can cost an airline up to $1 million a day. With early notice, our team can proactively have parts at the right place and time, reducing inventory costs and maximizing availability. Up to 1/3 of a plane's weight is fuel. As a pilot, I decide how much fuel my plane carries. Insights into engine efficiency, weather conditions, flight path, and scheduled landings impact my decision. Cortana Intelligence helps me choose the optimal fuel level to maximize efficiency. With 40% of our operating budget devoted to fuel, even a small percentage reduction can save us tens of millions of dollars each year. Microsoft and Rolls-Royce, reaching new heights in customer value.
So that's basically the change going on in Rolls-Royce. What is very important, so from the manufacturing, producing machines for aircraft and some cars, they're moving to services provider. They're teaching the pilot how to fly the jet to consume less and less fuel. But anyhow, all these changes, it's not happening by themselves. So we need some project management. So we still need some project management. So basically, project management started in, so I read something about the history, but you know, in the past, how they build these pyramids or churches in Italy, for example, they usually don't care how much time they need. Okay? If you look to the Siena in the Tuscany, there's written that this church was built in 200 years time frame. It's something that is unacceptable in this time. So when in the Industrial Revolution, they're starting to build different things. And of course, we have in the previous century also very big wars, like World War I and World War II. The things should be produced very, very quickly. And in, for example, First World War, there was a person named Gant who worked and tried to squeeze the time in which they are producing ships, military ships so they invent military ships in American producer factories. So they make this Gantt chart that we still know now. So this is, let's say, first start of the project management, and we can continue with the different invention in terms of project management. So if you ask everybody, I think 86%. I know why they think it is 14% to be interesting, but we need a project management to run the digital transformation and to run. What is different now, and it is not familiar for us, it's digital transformation is something you should try, and you should fail, because with failing you're learning. So in digital transformation you should have a lot of small, quick, unsuccessful projects, because the successful project will bring you a lot of revenue, and now you don't know which of those projects will be successful. When you're speaking about digital transformation and project management, it's not the tool. It's not Microsoft. You can use maybe also other tools, yes. But you should change how you operate inside the country, inside the organization. You change the culture. You should destroy the silos that are now in the companies. Like you have IT separate from the finance, IT demand, user requirements before starting anything. The people should collaborate, should integrate one to other. So the things should really happen fast. And sometimes we are missing two terms. One is digital transformation, to change the company. And second is agile project management. So agile is just methodology that could help us doing some project maybe quicker and better. So how Microsoft is looking to that? So we have different pillars to digital transformation. One is customer care. Customer care is, engage your customer in the process is, for example, introducing chatbot that will speak with your customer So we're replacing the agents that are speaking right now. Or, as you will see in the next session, the project management, why we cannot ask the chatbots to create the project for us. So we have also that together with the partners in our system. So we can transform our product as Airbus does. We can optimize operations. That means we can, for example, with Project Online, really go through, automate the process of creating the project and going to the sales cycle or the operational cycle. And of course, which may be the most important, we should empower our employees. Not limit that with Word and Excel, putting the share there and with email to change, but we should enable them to collaborate with each other. So for that, we're having different set of products, and maybe you will be frustrated to which of those we should choose. The key product in Microsoft portfolio is Microsoft Project Online. That's the product for project management, but we can, of course, enhance and to use all ecosystem of the products to really do the end-to-end solution for the project management. For example, we have Power BI, that is really simple reporting mechanism to do the reporting, can really shrink the time when you can prepare the reports. So in the last year, when I was here, we basically released three major components in our solution. We released Agile in Project Desktop Client. It is available in desktop client that is streamed from the cloud, so from the cloud version, not on the premise version, but of course could be used on your PCs, and helps you to also create a hybrid project. Part is waterfall, part is agile. Second big invention or introduction is introduction and planner in integration planner with the project. So you can have the complex project plan, but this is not suitable, for example, marketing, HR department. So they can look with maybe much more simple tool, which is Planner, but at the end, we can always integrate those data in one solution. And third invention, or let's say new feature in the old terminology, is basically we drastically simplify reporting with Content Packer with Power BI. You know, in the previous years in Project Server world, each report was some SQL Server report, was very difficult to build in terms of time that was needed to be consumed. So that's basically all from my side. I still have one video to show you. It's a video, you know, how the project manager life should look like, not so in distant future, like in 10 years.
Mom, you're wasting water. You know how important water is.
I'm sorry, honey.
Thanks for the red, Mom.
Your clean energy meeting was moved to 3 p.m.
Add task, evaluate campus recycling. Show me our proposed green initiatives. Compare top 2 waste management plans. As you can see here, switching to solar is high impact and it's in alignment with our strategy. Now, I'd like to add in a campus recycling project. This will complement our solar initiative, and I'm engaging with teams from around the world.
Show me our top internal team members with sustainability and environmental impact experience.
Our Seattle team would love to collaborate with your engineering team in Brazil.
Ótimo! Vamos analisar as especificações do seu projeto juntos.
Okay, in order to get success metrics in place for the shareholder meeting, we need to push implementation for both projects up by 2 weeks.
I agree. I'll get my team working on it.
Estou fazendo essas mudanças agora. O plano atualizado foi enviado.
Well, looks like that's going to impact costs by 2%, but we'll still make our deadline. Good job.
Your joint impact statements are up to date.
Thank you all for joining me today. I have some excellent news to share regarding our environmental project portfolio. We have significantly reduced energy consumption and gas emissions. Come take a look at this.
I'm proud of you, Mom.
You know how important water is.
With the vision, I would like to thank you to listen to me, and so I'm available for any questions you have. I will stay here with you, and I will invite probably Peter, to show us what is real life scenario, not vision, but what is really working in the European customers and across the globe. Thank you, everybody.
There we go. It doesn't go in. Let's take it out and do this. No, something is. Maybe it's this one at the bottom, I think. There we go, and it should work, right? But I can't. It's then.
We the project MVP. No.
I might try to see if we can get in. Different adapter. It's another. Oh, good at that cast. Plan B. Okay, no internet then. I'll find out, don't worry. This one. Picture there. Almost there. Sorry for that. We had a little issue with the VGA cable, and now it seems the internet is also a little bit annoying. Off. Go. Cancel. In again. Is the top one right?
No, all stars.
All stars, yeah.
All stars.
Normal use like this. With Pixie. Little. Yeah, good. Ready? Sorry for that. So this session is a follow-up on what Marco just said. Digital transformation. I'm not going to talk that much about it, but the customers that we have worked for in my company, and I'll get back to that, are very focused on these transformations. And it's all happening now and not 10 years from now. And that requires that we do project management in a new way. The session title here is Organizational Strategy in Project Online. And you just saw that Marco explained that Project Online is the umbrella for work, project management, agile work management, and so on. So with the time I have, and we just lost a few minutes, I guess, I will take up from where Marco left. So how do I see transformation happening today, not 10 years from now? And how will that be changing your IT organizations, and therefore also the way you do project management? There will be many sessions covering live demonstrations. I'll have one more tomorrow. Others will as well. So be sure that you will see much more of live features. I'll see for how much time I have left for this session to show something live as well. So I come from a company called Projectum. We are a project portfolio management partner to Microsoft in Denmark, and have been so for 15 years. We are Partner of the Year right now, which is great. And we have had a few of our apps being sold to Microsoft as well in the past years. So we do apps and we do products and we do solutions and implementation and so on. And we are here today, two of us actually, to explain how we see project portfolio management in Denmark, in the Netherlands, in Sweden, and in Finland. Those are the countries we work in. And hopefully it's an inspiration to the way you do work here as well. And we will learn something as well for how you do projects in Ukraine. My background is 15 years in this space, founding the company in 2004. I have been in the board of PMI. Today I'm in the board of IPMA. I'm a scaled agile practitioner. So I've been around Prince2, P3O. I've been around. And that's why I'm not so stressed about new methodologies or digital transformation, because it always ends up with some project being done somewhere. But that's my background. And I'm a Microsoft MVP as well, like Oleksi and Barbara and Ben. So normally I could talk about this for days, but I won't. But many people are talking about digital transformation, but this is actually the answer. The big thing is, what's the question? And many don't know that. They just do it because the competitor does it, or it sounds great. Or McKinsey called me and said, you should consider doing something, and then I do it. There can be many questions asked before you get this answer. One being, how can we handle changes better? Therefore we go agile. How do we get happier customers? How do we lead the market? How can we get a shorter time to market? I have one case with me today, which is IKEA, that we probably all know. And we know as well, in Sweden, but actually everywhere, of course. They have a CIO who started roughly half a year ago. And the most important thing for him right now is this digitalization and transformation. This has high impact also on you as consumers if you consider buying things at IKEA. And I'll tell you why. First of all, they want to grow like never seen before. Same pace as you see with Amazon. They used to set up a shop somewhere and then building all of that stuff, flying in the infrastructure, hiring a lot of people, and then you went in and bought a couch or a chair. If they want to grow into the Central European market or more into Asia, they need to do something else than setting up a local store and then people have 8 hours of travel to get there. So that's why they go for IT, web shops and so on, which requires a lot of IT and technology. But also, you must feel safe when you go in, because for some countries, IKEA is not normal. It's a new thing. How can we trust them? So it has to be fast and work, and your credit card information must be okay and all that stuff. So why is IKEA digital and relevant today for this case? I have an example on that I just did. You probably can't see it that much, but it's a video. I'm going to start it now. I was sitting there because I thought this room here could need a chair. So I put a chair right there on my phone, with bad Wi-Fi, by the way. And then I walked around it to see if it still looks great. And it does. And as you can see, some of you in the front line, it's you sitting there. And me doing what is called mixed reality. I can do that from my iPhone. I can put it onto my head. I can add tons of items and send it to IKEA saying, please deliver this tomorrow. And then in China, somebody will come with a truck that maybe drives by itself. And the person in the truck will actually be able to set up everything that you just ordered, because he can see the decoration and exactly where it should be and what color and what angle and so on. So furniture as a service can be done now as well in some countries where we are testing this up. Huge project, by the way, huge program at IKEA, all of this, called e-commerce for the future. This is growth like this and not like this over 80 years, powered by IT. So for IKEA, it's about how can we reach all people through IT is the question, or it's the answer, and through technology. So fast forward to how this impacts you. It means that IT now, there are lots of sources of information that you'll get a copy of the slides, but it means that IT essentially has to work much closer to the business. Here is a simple example where we see that in current situations, we see that IT is slow at innovating, but they are innovating, but it's slow. People are afraid of taking risks. It's very top-down managed. We do have customer focus, but it's maybe once a month we do a survey. We need to have this being done real time. So if something is not working on your Apple phone, Apple will get an email, or Microsoft will immediately, and they will fix it. So we remove friction. It means essentially that you move from IT as a cost center underneath the CFO to IT as a profit center. IT is the business. 5 years from now, IT is the thing at IKEA that makes the most money, not those that are building the stores. And then IT has the power, and everybody else is a support function to IT. We reverse it. Great times, especially for us. So if you look at this from a new DNA perspective, the new way of being IT, what does that mean when we talk project portfolio management? We'll have tons of sessions covering that for today and tomorrow. But one thing is for sure, that you need to understand that you had a traditional way of working things. This works, it does. Down here, you have your waterfall delivery model. We all know that. We do this to do projects to manage risks. We plan up front, and we do risk assessment, and maybe we get a yes, and then we run the project. That is not very future DNA in IT, where we have to do experiments, which is why on the right side we also need somebody to do these experiments and see what happens. The thing is that project management officers or program management officers are struggling in this middle place here, because they don't know what this is. They know what it is, but they don't know how to get some numbers. When are you done? How much is it going to cost? Do you have risks under control? And these Scrum Masters and product owners will just say, go away. We don't do projects. We do something else. Value streams, release trains, program increments, tons of things where we are like, we don't get that in the PMO. So this thing in the middle is, they need to step up from being a project office to a portfolio office, or a digital transformation office. You cannot be stuck being a project office, because then you cannot talk to the agile business, which is a problem. So many ways to get to a more agile approach. This is kind of like a strategy you need to get with. Many are sitting up here today, or some are at least, having a traditional way of doing projects. So waterfall, top-down, business cases, stage gate models, do. For most, you could actually take a stage gate model and do like this. Somebody up here decides a lot, and then at some point it ends becoming under execution for some people on the floor doing the work. and then we report on it at the same time. So this hierarchical way of looking at things should be changed maybe. And there are different ways to get to a completely agile situation, which is what we call scaled agile. Only a few customers or companies I know are here. Spotify. But they were born like that. They were not a company that had 100,000 employees and need to go this way instead. So to get from point A to B, or in this case, point 1 to 4, or 3, sorry, there can be different scenarios. One is bimodal, where you have the agile things on the left side here, where we do all this work, that there's not a project, the experiments. I'll get back to what that is for portfolios. And obviously, right side, we have your normal traditional way of working, and this is where then somebody needs to figure out what's going on. And we are lucky that people are people, time is time, money is money, also in agile. So we are able to do something. Just not on the task level. We'll get back to that. Then we have Agile with a PMO. This is where you have a portfolio, top-down approach. At the bottom, it says A for Agile. In this organization, you have no project managers, but you have a portfolio office. So which companies are like that? Philips. But not all of Philips. Philips Hue with the light bulbs in the IoT age. They are like that. No project managers of title, nowhere. Only Scrum Masters, Product Owners, Portfolio Office. And it works. The final one is hybrid, where we have a combination of Agile and Waterfall in the same project. And when does that happen? Well, when you produce this one, for instance, or a washing machine with a Wi-Fi connection, or your iPhone, or your whatever device. There's a physical device, and inside the physical device you have also software. And you want to deliver this physical device onto market at a certain point in time, typically just before Christmas, 1st December. New Xbox game coming out. It has to be wrapped in something. It has to be a product that can be put onto the shelf. And to get to that, obviously, we need a deadline. Then agile people are like, oh, then you don't get agile. And then you don't get business, and then we have a huge problem. It's business. We're making money on something, regardless of agile or waterfall. So the point is, in this case, you might have a, let's do it briefly, if you have a ideation, let's say we're building a new phone, for instance, mobile phone. Idea, approved, planning, now we execute. We execute the physical product, which is maybe from A to B, but we also do some software which runs like this. 4 sprints. And after 4 sprints, you have to close and move on to test, maybe, and move on to production. But this thing here, the IT piece right here, maybe this should just continue. So at the very end, when the product is done and on the market, and you buy your phone, Android or iPhone, you plug it in, it says there's an update. Then you update it, and now you got the full experience of updated IT plus a physical device. That's hybrid. And with IoT, most of the products we'll see in the future will be hybrid, because it's a physical product with IT in it, hand in hand. Therefore, we will always need project management because we have a deadline to reach. It's not all Spotify. So the impact with this in terms of portfolio management, well, probably there are many explanations to this. I think you need 2 portfolios at least. One where we say, let's just make it simple. We are running business like this today. It costs us $100,000 a year to have this building. And then somebody comes in and say, well, I have an idea. And I made an ROI. If we move headquarters, we can save 10% a year. Yeah, but moving headquarters costs us a lot of money as well. Yeah, but in 3 years we paid it back, and CFO comes in, let me look. That's a good idea. Let's move headquarters. Okay, this is portfolio management comparing 2 things against each other. What we're doing today and what we might do tomorrow. People typically, could be me, coming in and saying, why do we need an office? Maybe we should just, throw out the whole office and save $100,000 and spend that on doing some crazy VR glasses. I have a good idea. Or Philips saying, why don't we put Wi-Fi into the light bulbs? And then some CFO, if that was the case, would say, what does that mean? What's the cost of that? Can we do it? We don't know, but let's try. How much money will we make? I don't know. When will you be done? Don't know. So, and if you take these faith projects, where you just believe it's going to be great if it works, and put that into this portfolio, huge problem. Because right side, faith projects will always lose. High risk, high cost, no predictability. Bye you go, bye-bye. And then these people go to some garage somewhere because they believe in that idea and they start building it. And then 2 years after they come back and knock on the door, we just disrupted you, you lose. We need to keep those people being happy in the right portfolio, which is why many end up having a bimodal setup. I'm not saying it's perfect, because you can easily end up having the cool place to work, right side, and the boring legacy place to work, left side. And that should not be the case. But this is the situation. And I'll get to project, don't worry. So, Microsoft, let's get to the Microsoft part. You'll see many sessions, like I said, but one of them will be, let me just check time, this. There are many different markets, government, pharma, finance, and so on. I don't really care what market you're in. And I think project managers is kind of like the same thing, especially project management officers or PMOs. You can easily jump from one industry, being a PMO manager, to another industry. It's a process, it's a project, it's a triangle, or it's agile. Essentially it works. What really matters is your model. So let's say we have a customer that works in healthcare, and they have a focus for PMI. Okay, this is relevant. And then I would typically ask, so what kind of disciplines do you consider relevant for PPM or project management? And they would say, well, for us, we need to be sure about the resources, finances, timesheeting, and project management, but collaboration, no, we do that in another system. BI, we use another tool, Excel. We don't have a stage gate model, and so on. And based on right side, left side, industry, now we can start being clear on the technology you need to use. Maybe you need project for your portfolio overview and waterfall projects. Maybe you need Visual Studio for your IT projects inside your iPhone. Maybe you need Power BI for reporting. Maybe you need something called Planner for business agile activities. Sales and marketing people also have Kanban boards. Don't push them into VSTS or Jira or some crazy stuff like that. Put them into Planner. You'll see lots of that also with Ben when I'm done. So it's not as easy as just saying, go with project and all your problems are solved. Of course it's not. I'm happy it's not. Then we have something called bots and AI that Marco also talked about. And if we zoom in on that one, see where we can make a solution where project managers or business people or me as a project team member can just ask a question, talk to it, my phone for instance, and have it do things for me. We can do that through project, SharePoint, Teams, Cortana. I'll have a live example on it. And then some bot or chat assistant will take up your intent, it's called, using a cognitive service, and do something for you. So if I show this live, here's an example of project online, where I'm writing to the bot, please create, or what is it, it's my project delayed. And you can write it in any way you want to, or speak it, it will understand. So when will my project finish? Which project would you like me to analyze? And I write HR. Is this the project you're looking for? Yes, it is. You select it. And then it runs a simulation. We have many different ways of doing that. And at some point it will tell you, like in this case, that you will be delayed. 6 days delayed. It could also be create a new project. I can do that. Then it looks through the types of projects you have. You select one. What should the name be? You give it a name. My project in Ukraine. Description will come now, and then it will create the project. The good thing is that in Project Online, we can configure it with many different requirements. So if you create a resource, you have to answer where does the resource belong to, or what's the name, or which team is the person in. All of these requirements, the bot will take up automatically. So it knows immediately if you write create resource, then you have to also do this, that, and this. Or if you want to know if, or create a new project, it knows which fields are required and what template it's used. And I'm showing this right now on a web page, but it could be on my iPhone. It works perfectly. I could talk to it as well. Update my KPIs, do steering group report, and so on. Tomorrow I'll have a more in-depth session on what this is. So essentially it means you'll have different perspectives on tools depending on what kind of organization you are or would like to be. So it's not that easy in some ways. But notice that Power BI is the report engine, Project Online the portfolio engine, regardless of Planner, Visual Studio, Project, any other technology. Because in Agile, you still do portfolio management. It says so in all the books. And when you do portfolio management, you also do prioritization. So Agile teams are not static. They are static in size until somebody else decides something else. And so they're not static. But right now, many people don't have the portfolio ability to look through what happens if we change this Agile team to this. They can't see it. Huge problem. So Project Online as the center of the universe for me, my living for 15 years, consists of portfolio management, in this case shown where we can put in projects in and out, or people, have a budget, and see how we deliver strategy. This is a tool and it works great for Agile as well, on the epics level, if you know what that means. Then we have project management. It used to be a waterfall only, and now we have something where we can actually do Kanban within Microsoft Project, which is great for hybrid scenarios, like the iPhone development I described. Same situation. Great for that. We also have Planner, which is the Kanban board that lives on a web page. And I know that Ben will talk more about this as well after me. And resource management. If you do Agile, resource management is not managing people per day, per task. It's managing people up here in months or in weeks. I will be working 50% on this project or Agile initiative for 6 months, done. And then project collaboration is still communicating back and forth and documents. Now, getting to BI, I prepared this little example. Notice it's now loading a report within PowerPoint. So I'm pulling the report, I'm not creating it. I can just stay within PowerPoint because that's where most meetings are in anyways. I can navigate around in it like this. And it will just load. I'm on the Wi-Fi right now, but it seems to be okay. It actually works as well if I click, and please do that with HDMI and not VGA. You see it much better. If this is too small, I just zoom in and open it up on a web page. So you probably know where this is, but I click here, and I have different sections. Again, this is where you'll see more throughout the coming days. But as one example could be, we want to check up on the dashboard, what's going on. So here you have your portfolio of projects. I just want to look at the Agile projects. Well, those would be the ones. And this one, interesting. I would like to drill down. Oh, sorry, I just clicked wrong. Here we go. I would like to drill down on this one. Where's my right-click button? There we go. It's a bit difficult. Here we go. Drill down. So you click on it, you go to the one-pager that many are asking for, and this will then be the one-pager for that particular project. And the same thing goes with, you know, timeline, risk management, and so on. I'm not going to show more of this because others will at the conference. But this is now a standard BI package that Microsoft offers Project Online users. So it works, but if you don't do milestones in your plans, you will see no milestones. If you don't do risk management, you will see no risks. But it works out of the box. That's the thing. So in respect of time and me being a little bit delayed with this, I'll stop now, I think, because it's 11. It's okay for you to? Okay, okay. Alexi says I can keep going. So 5 minutes more? Great. Because there is then one thing I would like to show today. And that is an example on Agile. Just a second. There we go. Keep. Probably know this as well. So that was not the example, but okay. So now we start up projects in the client. So what is new here is that, and it's not that new actually, but maybe for some of you it is. Now we have Kanban and Scrum as the new thing within project. We can also just click blank and not decide on it, and you know, do a phase and task. We could do it like we've always done it by just making it auto schedule and put in some duration on it and do this, and now we have a phase and a task. Nothing new here. But the moment we click on project and click on agile, you now have the option of switching to a Kanban view or Scrum, combined with waterfall or traditional. So if I go to Kanban, you'll see this. Now you have a backlog. So next up, in progress, done. Also notice, you now have, which is brand new, came out 2 days ago, but up here you have set % complete. So if you think that in progress should equal to 60% complete, then you should write this. Then you can take the tasks, but maybe only the tasks that you have tagged being agile. So let's try and insert an agile column, like this, and say, well, this one is not agile. And obviously the phase is not as well, but this one is workshop. Oh, sorry, please. Yes, here. This one is an agile task. It's just, we can still say it's 2 days. It can be a time box. There's nothing wrong with time boxes in agile. But if we then switch to Kanban, backlog, so here we go. Now we see the workshop only, because that's the only one tagged agile. So imagine the whole hybrid model where I said ideation, planning, and now we come to execution. This is where agile is. Agile done, 3 sprints are done. Now we close it, back to waterfall. We can now do this in this client here. So if I then take this one, workshop, and put it to here, and go back to here, this is now 60% done. Pure Kanban magic, now going into my Gantt chart, which is the combination I think many have been looking for quite a long time. And it is there now. But to get it, you need to have project with Project Online, and you also need to have it updated yesterday to get this, or at least the latest features. You also have tons of reporting up here that are now supporting the agile way of burning down tasks or burn up graphs. So this is the new world. And finally, you also have the option of, because I still have 2 minutes left, but you also have the option of connecting this to what we call Planner. And I'll only show the feature, not so much about Planner, because there's a session for that. But let's say we have, again, a workshop of some kind. This would be a lot of tasks and checklists and post-its normally. So in this way, we can connect it to what is called Planner by clicking here and there. And I'm probably not going to do that with the Wi-Fi I have right now, to be connected as well. But then we can connect it to what is called Planner, which is then essentially your Kanban board here, going on a web page. So you have 2, and this will then be linked together back to the project plan. So 2 different ways of doing it. You control the Kanban board as a project manager. You stay in control. Or you say, I don't want to stay in control. So here's a task, do it. And then they do it, the team, in Planner. Then you don't have control anymore. And I think that's the difference between Scrum Master and Project Manager. Project Manager is the type who says, I give the orders. I'm the project manager. Scrum Master is like, please play planning poker and let me facilitate you through this process so we can agree on it and make it work. 2 different ways of working. And there's a need for sometimes this, and sometimes a combination. So with Planner and Project Online on top, we can support both ways of working, also combined. And then I think my time is up. Thank you.